Las Vegas and there's a sudden buzz around the city, and Americans are all about talking about rugby, then blame it to the NRL stars from down under, who are ready to take the American markets by storm. Two blockbuster opening games are lined up for March 2nd at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Now we can just anticipate what it's like to be there in the city right now, but someone who will not just participate in for the Roosters, but will also lead them is the skipper James Tedesco. We at ES are delighted to have him. James, how are you doing?
Hey, mate. Yeah, doing well, mate. We're just landed in LA a couple of days ago, so we're just here until Wednesday before we fly to Vegas and get ready to play over there. So, yeah, the buzz is just building and getting very excited.
Right. I was just going through the NRL website and I just saw the roster as to what is all lined up. I mean, you can see there's a welcome night, there's a fan hub, there's a golf day, there's a lot that is happening in Vegas right now. Now, how excited are you to play in front of the American audience? That is my first question. And also, how are the Americans taking this all in when it comes to rugby?
Yeah, I think we're very excited to showcase our game, NRL Rugby League. I don't think many Americans have ever watched the game before, especially live. It's our first game in America. So, yeah, we're just excited to show our product. We know how good of a game it is that we play. We know it's very brutal. There's a lot of action, a lot of highlights. So I'm sure the American crowd will definitely enjoy it. But yeah, there's a lot of advertising and marketing to make sure we get a big atmosphere, big crowd there at Allegiant Stadium. And I'm sure every American that either comes to the game or watches on TV will be very excited and impressed with how good our game is.
Now, James, America as a country, I'm like is open to a lot of sports because they consume literally everything, like right from NBA to NFL, and now come to things of it, they're a country which which love their sporting culture. I'm like, how do you as a player and also as the captain of your side look towards this opportunity and see NRL expanding on the American shores?
Yeah, I mean, us boys and everyone in Australia love American sport. I mean, we love our NFL, we love our NBA, baseball. There's so many great American sports, and we know American culture is very about supporting their teams and going to bars and at home and getting friends around and watching sports. So we're hoping rugby league can make a bit of an impact on America as a whole. We're hoping, it might not affect a big majority, but even if it's a 5% of Americans that really enjoy and love the sport from watching this doubleheader in Vegas on the weekend, then we've made a bit of an impact. So hoping the word can get around how exciting our game is, and it's similar to NFL in terms of the way we play, but it's much shorter. There's not as many breaks in play, so there's a lot of action, a lot of excitement, and yeah, I think it's a sport that will get a lot of Americans excited and enjoy the spectacle.
It's great that you just use the word action because my connecting question was that action is not just limited to the football pitch but also off it. I mean, like, I have been reading a lot of comments that were being made also off the pitch, and renowned Australian journalist Phil Gould said that at present, that it will be very difficult for NRL to break through the American markets because of the fact that they consume a lot of sports. So how do you react to this
Mm.
statement, and also what different could the NRL offer to a nation which is so just immersed in NFL?
I think you can't get enough sport, as especially living in America. I mean, the more sport, the merrier. So I think that's the sort of motto. I know there's always a lot of sport on in America, whether during the day or at night or any time of the day. But I know there's lots of sports bars that have five or six sports on at the same time. So why not have rugby league on as well? Because it's not as long. It doesn't take 4 hours like an NFL game. It's only 2 hours, but it's 40 minutes with not many breaks in between, and yeah, it's short, sharp, and compact with not many breaks in play. So I think that's a thing that can attract a lot of the American audience, and they can really enjoy watching it over an 80-minute game.
James, I was following your career, and you have been quite loyal to the clubs or to the teams that you have represented so far. From a rugby player's point of view, I'm like, is this? Have you ever had the experience of playing in America before, or is this your first time?
No, this is first time. So we've played in England and Europe a fair few times playing rugby league, but over in America, this is yeah our first time playing over here. I've been to a few NFL games when been traveling over here a few times, and I love watching and enjoying that spectacle. But yeah, I'm not sure if many NRL games have been ever played over here before. So I think that's it's a bit of the unknown for a lot of the American audience. But as I've said before, I'm sure they will enjoy the experience if they turn it on. If they watch a couple of minutes, they'll be right into it.
Right. James, as you said that there are a lot of parallels that can be drawn or comparisons that can be drawn between rugby and of course the NFL. First question, I'm like, do you have any close friends in the NFL, the teams that you possibly follow, or any favorite stars from the league?
I don't know anyone personally. I love watching NFL. I'm a fantasy football addict. So a lot of us in this team play fantasy football together. But I'm a Chiefs fan since Mahomes came in. I love Christian McCaffrey. I feel like I relate to him. I love watching the running backs go about their business, sort of how I play my game. Just strong ball carriers and love the contact. So that's I love watching guys like McCaffrey. I love watching receivers like Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, guys like that, just who are masters at their work and just their footwork and speed and agility is it's something that we love to watch as rugby league players.
Now, as a team overall, I'm sure you have your preparations in store. But before I go there, I because you mentioned the name Chiefs, I have to come to you. I'm like, did you follow the Super Bowl this time around between
Yeah,
Chiefs and 49ers?
Yeah, so when I came to the Roosters in 2018, I didn't really know much about NFL, and a lot of the boys here were big NFL fans. And one of the boys said, you should get a Kareem Hunt jersey. He plays for the Chiefs. He's a gun running back. So I got a jersey straight away, and that was the year that Mahomes actually got drafted and came in and played his first full year. So from then on, I was a Chiefs fan, and since then they've been very successful. So it was pretty good timing. But yeah, I enjoyed the Super Bowl. Mahomes is just he's just too good. Watching a guy like that, have so much success, and when the game's on the line, he just steps up and gets the win for his team. So he's definitely an athlete that I watch closely and I really respect and admire.
Right, and just to follow up on Chiefs, what are your thoughts on because when I was seeing the NRL, doing all these promotions and all, the NRL also involved legends like Tom Brady, Rob, and because you are a Chiefs fan, I would like to know your thoughts from an athlete point of view, athlete to athlete. What are your
Mm.
thoughts on Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes because they are just two hell of a like a player from different eras, of course. And
Mm.
do you guys and from a rugby point of view, amongst your team, do you talk about players like these and maybe learn few things of the trade to get better players, become better
Yeah,
players?
yeah, 100%. Tom Brady is definitely the OG goat. Everyone just loves and respects the way the amount of success he had over a long period of time playing to the age he did. We all love Tom Brady here, and um, the amount of rings he won, it's really special. So I know Mahomes is sort of on that same track. He hasn't won as many as Tom yet, but he's still got a long playing career to go. So who knows how good he could be? But I think I respect what Tom Brady heard him say in podcasts and when he was speaking, he didn't really compare himself or try and be anyone. He just tried to be the best version of himself, and that's what made him such a great player and have so much success. He wasn't worried about trying to compare himself to Montanas or QBs before him. And yeah, I think Tom Brady's motivation, hearing him speak, is something we love as NRL players. And yeah, Mahomes is on that same sort of trajectory with the success he's having at an early age, and Um, who knows? That I wouldn't really compare them. I just say that at the moment they're two of the greatest QBs to play NFL. So it's just exciting for us to watch, especially the Mahomes era, because Brady was a bit before me. I wasn't really into the NFL as much then, but seeing the Mahomes, the success he's having over the last 6 years is really cool.
Right. Now, at Essentially Sports, James, we were very fortunate to talk to also Jordan Malaita, someone who switched from a rugby player to a NFL player, who also plays for Philadelphia Eagles. Have you
Yeah.
had any sort of interaction with him, and also with respect to your career line as well? Do you see yourself playing in the NFL one day?
No, I've no connection with Jordan. I'm a big fan, just watching from afar, obviously, what he was able to do, moving from NRL to come over here in the NFL and have so much success. I know he's one of the best players at his position, and Philadelphia have had some success as well. So, yeah, very envious of what he's been able to do. But if I came over a bit earlier, like Jordan did, I might have been a chance to make an NFL career, but I'm a bit too far into my NRL career now to make a switch. But I enjoy just watching the running backs and the wide receivers and what they're able to do. They're just supreme athletes and so good at what they do. So I don't know if oh, I played against Jared Hayne. I don't know if you remember Jared Hayne came over a couple of years ago and trialled for the 49ers and started a few games as a running back and punt returner. And he was one of the best NRL players to over here. And he seemed like he was a chance of making it in the NFL, but it didn't quite work out. But they're guys that have, yeah.
You're right. How easy or difficult it is, to switch from rugby to NFL? Maybe any conversations with Jordan or any other players you might be able to share a story with us.
No, I haven't. I don't have any stories. I haven't talked to Jordan about that transition, but I can imagine it would be very difficult. Obviously, with switching over to a game you haven't played before, and kids and adults have been playing it for 20 years and learning the game and having the experience, um, before you. So I can imagine. I've heard the playbook is very difficult to learn, and if you're coming from rugby league, it's only a one page really of plays and things you have to know. But in the NFL, I've heard there's a whole book full. So I think that would be the toughest part.
Right. So very quickly, rugby or the NRL. I mean, like the one thing that connects both these sports is the amount of injuries that happens to player. So which one do you think is more brutal and why?
Out of which one? NFL and NRL? Did you say? Or
Yes. Yes.
oh, I don't know. Don't really. It's I mean, that's all part of the game for both games is injuries, and you never want to see it happen in the game. But again, that's the risk we run, and we know as athletes when we go out there that there's that potential of injuries. But I guess there's just a wide variety. It happens in both with the contact that we go through. Obviously, NFL have a lot more padding and protection, but there's still a lot more injuries that they can encounter. So I don't know. They're both pretty brutal. I guess yeah. We just have don't have the same amount of protective gear that they have, but I'm sure hitting in those helmets and those pads would hurt pretty hard as well.
Right. And like you said, there are so many comparisons between, or lines to be drawn between the NRL and the NFL. So are there any skill sets? Are there any certain skills, maybe soft skills or even the game skills that the NRL players can take from the NFL players or learn from them?
I think catching on contact is a big one. I see a lot of receivers, tight ends, running backs having to catch high, low, hard, softball anywhere around, and they've got to just be able to have the focus on catching a ball and then being ready to take a big hit from the side as well. So that happens in a degree in the NRL as well. But yeah, I think NFL players have so much skill, especially the catchers, whether it's tight ends, receivers, or running backs. They have to break tackles. They have to use their feet and speed to find space, and they have to evade defenders as well. So that's all similar to us in the NRL.
James, NFL has technology with the use VAR, and do you think that the NRL should also adopt the same sort of technological advances?
Yeah. So what's their advantage? advances there,
Uh,
the
yeah,
technology.
the VAR, where you can refer a controversial decision, a controversial.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
we have that similar. We have a captain challenge, which I think we might have brought in because of the NFL. So, if a referee makes a decision, and us as players know that that's not correct, we can challenge it, and it can go up to a bunker. Whereas another referee in there, and they look at all the different camera angles and can make a judgment on that call. So, I think that might have been implemented because of the NFL and what they do there. So that's been a big addition to the NRL.
Now, with respect to the NFL, what has happened last season or a couple of season, what they have seen is that there's a new tactic which is called the tush push or the hip drop tackle.
Yeah.
I'm sure I must have heard about it. So the allegations were, or the points were, that the NFL is becoming too soft. So is there a scope for for rugby or the NRL to come into the picture over here, because it is like you said, NRL is also something which is more of a physical contact, and people would like to see that kind of action even more, and that is one window where the NRL players can target.
Um, yeah, well, we're similar in we. It's a penalty if someone does hip drop, and that's something to protect our players. But sometimes that just happens in our contact game. If you're falling off a tackle or you're going down around the legs, and you might find yourself in those positions. But we have implemented some rules to sort of protect our players as best we can. But we do understand it's a big contact sport, and it is hard to cut that fully out of the game. But I know the NFL are similar in protecting their quarterbacks and making sure there's no contact there. But again, you gotta protect the players as best as possible, and the refs have to make a call on that. And obviously, as spectators, you want as more action and as more brutality and more big hits as possible, which is still a big part of our game, a big part of the NFL. But it's just about managing that and making sure, like we talked about before, that injuries are not as common and the players are protected.
So James, you're captain for Sydney Roosters, and for me it was just that captaincy comes naturally to you, or do you classify yourself as a born leader?
No, not really. I'm definitely more intrinsic and more of a quiet person by nature. So I feel like as I've sort of just grown into the leadership role, the more over the years and the more experience I've had playing in the NRL, that I've sort of just grown into a leader of the team. So I've really enjoyed that role and sort of getting better and better every year and becoming more comfortable in leading the boys around. But I've really just really proud to be able to captain my club and lead this team and to run out first in our first game in America on Saturday will be a pretty special moment for me.
Last question: 6 seasons with Roosters, and now any specific targets for with the club for this season, and how do you want to go about in this season?
Yeah, I mean we want to win a premiership. That's obviously the big target every year, the big goal, and we won back to back in 18 and 19, and since then we've haven't got too close to a grand final. We've made the finals, but we've still been a step or two behind winning a premiership. So it all started, in pre-season a couple of months ago, putting that work in and having our sights on that end goal of the premiership, but just taking it 1 week at a time, one session at a time, and now we want to start the year strong against Broncos, who are a very strong team. They won the grand final last year, so it'll be a tough start, but we're looking forward to that challenge and hopefully get our season on a roll early. So looking forward to it.
Well, on that note, James, I would like to thank you for your time and would like to also wish you all the best for the NRL season. And I would just like to say that, being one of the most experienced men in the NRL, there will be a lot of expectations, but we just hope that you not just win the game against Broncos, but also win the hearts and minds of American fans and leave them wanting for more. Thank you for your time.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Ed. Yeah, that's the
James.
plan. Cheers.